Interesting you say that, because a child who knows that Israel is the good guy, Hamas is bad, has a lot more wisdom than a student like yourself at Cambridge University.
I will be glad that I will not have been somebody who has defended the genocide of the Palestinian people. And I think you will have to reckon one day that you have reckoned with.
Interesting. I want to close on this. So can you tell me what African country is currently ongoing a civil war?
Believe it or not, I know about Sudan because I'm not an idiot.
How about what Southeast Asian country has an ethnic cleansing going on right now?
Myanmar.
Good. And you have strong opinions on both sides?
Unlike you, I take an effort to be informed about foreign policy and to come to conclusions. You are a culture warrior. I believe when everything is done, Mr. Kirk, people will see you and the people you've supported as corrupt, as selling the country out to the lowest bidder, and of doing irreparable damage to a country I'm sure we all deep down love.
The difference,
I think you will have to reckon with that.
Difference
Mr. Kirk.
Is when.
There it is. That was the moment. Charlie knew he couldn't defend it anymore. So, yeah, you know, people think that little country in the Middle East is the reason why. You know, people say, you know, do they do everything? It's like, I mean, yeah, actually, they kind of do. All right, so we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, oh my God, this whole situation is, oh my God. I think it's a total operation, and they literally give you every sign that it is. Nothing makes sense. They've left people to just make up all kinds of theories, and then they yell at people for making theories. So I don't think the mainstream narrative is any good. It doesn't make any sense. You know, these things got to make sense. Like it didn't. And I think they got a patsy. And hopefully they don't get to him, you know, before they decide otherwise. So Tim had the culture war on, for the culture war. He had him and Myron and all them, and they were basically, I mean, all you could kind of do is speculate, but all the facts that are given, none of them make any sense. They don't draw a line at all. Not to mention all the other kind of anomalies that we got going on with this whole situation. And now they're using it. They're going to try to use it to pass all kinds of hate speech laws, which Charlie was supposedly a free speech absolutist. Yeah, the whole thing stinks. Okay, and I think it doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to.
It has been 16 days since Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And, you know, I'll just throw my cards out there. I largely believe what we're getting from the FBI is correct, though there are a lot of questions about it because, look, we're not children. You don't need to just blindly believe everything the government tells you. But when we break...
No, you can't believe anything. You can't believe anything these people tell you. This is where you have to treat them, or you have to treat everything almost as a lie until it can be proven different any further. Okay, because that's all they do. I don't know why you people keep giving. I don't know why you people keep giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Down all of the theories running wild, I think the simple narrative that we are getting tends to be the correct one, but there are a lot of unanswered questions. Even if you do believe the work of Cash Stan and Pam Bondi, there are questions about how could this have been a lone shooter? How could people have had foreknowledge posting on social media seemingly knowing this was going to happen? Because of these things, because of ballistics, there have been dozens of videos which have cracked millions of views claiming new evidence, new conspiracies, trap doors, cement being poured, palm guns, a man hiding in the bushes. What?
And I think that's the point. Chaos. All kinds of theories. This over here. All the information they give doesn't make any sense. But he didn't have it. He didn't have an autopsy. They're just like, we just didn't do an autopsy. What do you mean? What? And that memorial? Oh my God. And she's, like intelligence Erica from her family was. This is what I mean, They covered up the scene, like the crime. There was no like crime scene or anything. After it happened, people just slowly strolled out.
Is true? Well, we don't really know for sure, but we're going to discuss it, debate it, break it down, and have a general conversation over why people are saying the things they're saying. But I'll just start with this, just so you guys know my position. I want to make sure it's clear. There's a lot of money to be made in a lot of these narratives. And I think if you came out and said, we don't actually know, well, for the most part, people aren't going to click that video. But if you make it...
Well, nobody knows. Nobody knows. So, who's saying they know?
a video titled, Who Really Killed Charlie Kirk? The Truth Behind the Kirk Assassination. Maybe people will click that one.
These are all theories.
Which is what we titled this video. But I think it's because I actually want to take a look at all of this stuff. Some of these videos, I believe, are easily debunked, which is really frustrating to see 6 million views on a video where within 3 seconds, I'm not trying to be a dick, but the dude contradicts his own argument. So I think it's important that we can break this down and have this conversation. Before we get started, my friends, we got a great sponsor.
I mean, Tim believes the government theory. He thinks it's some trans cult or whatever. Bro, come on, man. Those people are not a serious threat. They're not doing this. We had how many shootings after? But see, they politicize. They don't politicize. We have shootings all over the place, but they don't politicize or highlight all of them because it's gotten that bad. You know, the Charlie Kirk, it reminds me of Butler when he tried to, when that weird kid, that kid, I was like, this kid did not do that. There's no way. And he was just like a lone gunman. He said he like rode his bike there and jumped on the roof. He was in a BlackRock commercial. See, they always do this weird shit. This is what they do in these little operations. And this is what I mean when I say I don't think people really understand how serious of shit we're in with these people. And now they're strolling out the wife, Erica Kirk. Now they're strolling her out now. And she's smiling and it looks so weird. Oh my God. Looks so bad.
It's bearskin.
This game, you're not ready for it.
You know we love bearskin. These are great and amazing hoodies. You guys have seen them. I wear them on the show periodically. It's starting to get a little cool again, so we'll probably start wearing them. Smart people right now, they're locking in their winter gear because this is the best as he.
That narrative, they're coming back and saying, oh, wait, there was no official FBI statement. So I think we should start at the very beginning. And the first big break in the story, I think, was when Blake Bednarz went through all the footage and he realized, he said, hey, the people in the cafeteria, and I showed this to Myron on the way here, you can see the people that in the cafeteria that filmed the video of the man running across the roof, right? At that exact point that they're filming that, you're seeing the crowd out there crouching down. So then I go outside and I go, okay, let's start a video at the exact moment that Charlie gets shot. And I go, I'm going to press play and you're going to hear bang. And then we count 1,000, 2, 1,000. I'm also using the timer on the computer to from the video thread. It's 3 seconds from the time that Charlie from the time that shot goes off to the time that crowd's sitting down. So then you go back to the camera on the inside and you see the man running on the roof is in a full sprint. Within 3 seconds of Charlie being shot, 100% fact, we know whoever that man was on the low-C building on that roof is in a full sprint with or without his rifle in hand within 3 seconds. So then I hired a journalist to go back to the crime scene and actually film. I wanted to see the video, the camera, the
That person that was walking up the stairs, the picture that they put out, he had a backpack on. You mean to tell me he had the gun that they say it is in there? No, he didn't. It wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit. They said it was in his pants. Wouldn't we have seen that on the camera? This doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And then they talk about he disassembled it, then put it back together. And don't even get me started on the text messages. The text messages obviously were made by like a cop. It's not even like it's because it's not even good. Like. It's like they're bad at it, but the people still fall for it. I have no idea.
CCTV footage that was used that the FBI gave us. So the FBI gives us the footage, which is time-stamped on the date and time at 12:23.34 it starts. So at 34 it starts and you see him running across the roof. Okay, so 3 seconds prior to that video footage that the FBI gave us would have shown this man laying in the prone position and taking that shot. So I'm not trying to push any narrative. I'm saying at the very least what I want is just 10 seconds, 15 seconds longer of the video that you've already gave us. Then he went back to the crime scene and
there's a reason why they cut it off. There's a reason why. They're not going to give you no more footage. They're not going to give you no more footage. Because you can't see that part. That's the reason why they cut it off. Come on, guys. This isn't hard.
there's not only one CCTV camera there, there's two cameras, and I showed this to Myron as well.
Wait, I just want to clarify that when you're discussing the 3 seconds, are you referring to device timestamps, or are you saying regardless of the time it was in the video, it was 3 seconds?
I'm saying in the video in the cafeteria.
He's saying the prior time, right after, right before, like right when the shooting happened, they gave the video. Did he say the video that it's like it starts like right after the shot. All you see is the guy running. He's saying the camera. I believe this is what he's saying, is that the camera is, if you get that time period before, because the camera I think is swaying, then you'll get the guy actually doing the shooting. That's what he wants. They're not going to get that. Absolutely not. That's going to be too much information. See, you're supposed to be bamboozled and flabbergasted, and things aren't making sense. Wait, how about this one? How about this? The book. Book's published September 9th, a day before the actual shooting. The shooting of Charlie Kirk. How did this book get published the day before the shooting? So there's all these little, all these little things that don't add up. Now, if you ask me what I have, my thing is, first of all, I usually have like 3 strikes, 3 things that will prove to me that are just that just don't make sense. Like I said, the autopsy, the sound, when the sound of the gun, when it happened, it sounded like whatever it was, the shot or the explosion, whatever the fuck it was, it sounded like it was right there, right in the face. Like from the camera that I remember seeing, the loudest one was the camera that was like just a couple rows back and taking a picture of him. That's like the first one I seen. But I figured, and the sound was so much loud. If it was someone that was so much farther away, I feel like the sound would have been different. I could be wrong, but that's how. Okay, and this is one of the biggest ones for me. So, they say it was like a 30-06, which is like a fucking sniper. Look at that. This is that gun. This is that bullet. So Charlie Kirk was not wearing a bulletproof neck guard, nor was he wearing an armor plate. Soft body armor do act like that when shot. The kiddies are grasping at straws. Assuming he was shot in the neck with a 30-06 deer rifle round, it was a stolen family hunting. I remember. It would have blown his head off pronouncedly and instantly on camera. Okay, see, that was my point. And it took me a while to get there, because when you initially see it, you don't really, it kind of shocks you, especially how they did this. They made it go like super viral, all on social media, and it was like in front of everybody. It was graphic. It was, that's just traumatizing. Very traumatizing. As time went on, and you start to, hear from the government and, what their evidence is and, how this happened and all that. Then you get a reading on, are they full of shit or not? Look at that. Ooh. So, look at the rounds. The rounds are humongous. That's supposedly the round, so, nah, man. And the memorial was sick. It was sick. The fireworks. I think we got. Look at Look at her. Here it is. What's the point of the bullet? This is some weird shit, right? So like this, this is really weird. It's not like a funeral. It's like they were like selling like T-shirts and voter registration. Oh, and every member of Trump's cabinet spoke. Does that nigga not have like siblings, mom, dad, friends? Like what? Where are they? I haven't heard from them. Why is that? That's weird, right? That's kind of odd. And now she's gonna take over. Look, this might be unpopular, but I find it very weird how a widow has stepped into the CEO role, delivered 2 speeches, one at a stadium memorial where Charlie's parents weren't even present, and is already going on podcast just 2 weeks after her husband was assassinated, instead of being home with her 2 young children who just lost their dad. Okay. Of course. Totally agree. I mean, I'm with you there. But even their marriage, you know, they've never shown their kids' faces. They never shown their kids' faces. All of the pictures, I guess, have always been from the back. So that means every time you took a picture, you had to make sure they were turned a certain way. It's so weird. Yeah, so now if you want to get to what I think, my theory, and people aren't gonna like it, but I've watched tons of people make all kinds of different theories. Shot from this angle, came from this angle, bullet traveled here. So many. I've seen so many. Okay. And one of them, I think, actually kind of caught my eye. And because of, so you have to weigh the circumstances of the kind of people you're dealing with, like the elites, the people who are making these decisions. These people are not. They're not really the smartest bunch, but the people are dumber, sadly. Look at this. Something is extremely off. Yeah. acts like this 2 weeks after the assassination of your husband and father of your children. Not to be an asshole, but something is seriously off about Erica Kirk. Okay. So I'll go into mine. I believe that, because I never got to my third strike, this is basically it. The lack of blood, the lack of a wound, unless it was a very, very small wound. But even still, how is the tent? The tent has no blood. Like behind him, Charlie, there was no blood, not a drop. How? How does that happen? That don't make no sense. That doesn't make any sense. And then when they grabbed him and they were taking him to the car, no blood. No trail. None. And especially with the fact of what they're telling us it was versus the actual like what happened, it doesn't add up. It doesn't matter any gun that you gotta shoot from 200 yards away or 300, whatever the fuck it was. That shit's gonna they said, Lord have mercy. They said, what was it? I think I had a video. Here it is. Here's a video. This is the caliber, the bullet, 30-06, in slow motion. We're gonna see what it does.
This is your brain on communism. Today we're talking about fast bullets in slow motion.
Wait. We already did your video. It's ours.
We got this, Nick. Welcome back to Ballistic High Speed. As you can see, we've got some old guns today. It looks like an M16. And what is this?
This is a Winchester Model 70 chambered in 30-06. We actually just did my video on this. This is
We sure did.
Carlos Hathcock's video. That's some pretty sweet slow-mo.
The scope shot and everything. So head over to PV's channel if you want to see that.
It's going to be fun to compare because the original M16, when it came out during Vietnam, a lot of Vietnam vets absolutely hated it because the 5.56 round, they said that it would actually...
Which we have today, so we
Here we go.
For those ready to answer adventure's highest calling, we've built our most capable...
get to test historical weapons against modern armor. First, we're just going to have some fun.
Yeah, you want to shoot a watermelon?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Today we're going to be testing the ballistic difference between, that is a 62 grain 5.56 steel core round being shot out of a Vietnam era M16 with a 20-inch barrel.
That is a 180 grain Hornady SST Super Performance out of the Winchester Model 70. So two kind of historic guns, and anytime you say history on
So that's the
YouTube,
gun.
this guy just kind of apparates. So we have...
That's the gun, supposedly, that I believe that was it insane power for 30-06. Yeah. I wonder if anybody came here after Charlie's producer said that there was no exit wound because Charlie's body stopped it. Okay, so that's what I was. Yeah, that's right. Again, another thing, which is obvious BS. Oh, the surgeon told me the bone stopped the... Shut... What? What do you think? Do you think we're stupid? Yeah, they think we're stupid. Yes, they do. They do. You gotta go tell them, no, fuck you. You're gonna tell me the truth, goddammit.
The YouTube historian here with us. Unfortunately, we're catching you on your way out of town.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let him pop these two watermelons, and then we'll let you be on your way, and then we're gonna work our way up to our armor test. Let's get to it.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my!
Nice.
Oh!
That's the M16.
Okay, yeah, that was more than I was thinking. Okay.
The fact that it just went away makes me wonder what else we could do with 30-06, you know?
This is your brain.
Yes.
This is your brain on communism.
All right, let's see what 5.56 does to watermelon at 50,000 frames a second. Was it already keyhole?
Yeah. It's keyholing from nothing.
From nothing.
I told you it keyholed. It's keyholing from the wind.
Point being, if really any caliber is, if he was getting shot from there like that, what was it? Bam, like that. Bullet should have went through. Doesn't clock, bro. Doesn't clock. And you know, they're blaming it on this kid. It's a damn shame. At first they were like, he confessed. I don't know, they you know, they put out that story about his, you know, him going to his dad and confess, which was a lie. That didn't really happen. So surprising. These people, you know, and you know, we haven't seen or heard from any surgeon, any hospital. Where was he? Do they know what hospital he went to? So yeah. Oh, so what I think it was literally a psychological stunt to traumatize people, to traumatize, like, is it I can't remember what it's called. It's like some propaganda or whatever. But no, I think it's they did to traumatize. Maybe other reasons. I have no idea. This is my guess, and I'm not too sure he actually even got shot. You know, I think he had like a device on him. They call them squibs. They use them in Hollywood. Like a blood pack, and does explosion. They don't use them for gunshots. Because where's all of the? He should have been leaking blood. There's no blood. Like, there's a little bit of blood. Very, like, little bit. He should have been off the neck. They said he hit the something artery or some shit. I don't know, coronary artery or some shit. And they were taking him out. You know, people were filming and stuff, and nobody had. There was like no blood. It's very odd. So I'm not convinced that he's dead. I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, maybe he faked his death. You know, the people in charge. It's just a theory. I don't know. It sounds crazy, but this world is crazy, you know, and you know, this group of people are psychotic, and I think they do things like this all the time to the people. They do all kinds of psychological operations on the home people, on the Americans. I think that's what a lot of these like shootings and a lot of this stuff that they pump very big in the mainstream media and becomes this huge deal. You know, I think a lot of that is manufactured. So I'm not even 100%. Like I said, I'm not even 100% sure that he's really, he's really dead. Yeah. Because I don't trust those people who make these. And nothing makes sense. You can just stop right there. Nothing makes sense. You know? Okay? At least make it make sense. They can't even make it. It doesn't make any sense. It makes nothing. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You know? The bone stopped the bullet. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. The bone did not stop the bullet. Can you not? I'm not gonna get anywhere with this, bro. I'm telling you. It's fucking crazy. You know, and the wife is basically took over, so. Alright, this is like basically my fear. This guy right here, he made a great he also believes. And see, here's the thing, like, you can't say, but you can't say that because, you know, people have turned into this spectacle. You know, I saw a video yesterday where a lady at, like, Starbucks was yelling at some girl because she didn't put the name on her cup or some shit. It's like, what the, come on, man. You know, you don't know these people. Yeah, so. But yeah, no, I mean, there's so many anomalies with this thing, and I don't want to show that. Yeah, so. But let's see what Tim and the boys, see what they got to say.
He's running on the roof. You see that. And then you see the crowd scrouching down. The crowd in that video just realized Charlie had been shot. So then I went to the outside video, and I'm watching, and I watched the shot go off, and you hear bang, and I go, okay, I'm just watching the timestamp on the video, how long it takes the crowd to actually start scrouching down. And that's
Can we pull
roughly
up the
3
video
seconds.
for them so they can see?
Yeah, you can if you want. I can airdrop it to you.
Do you have it on? Do you have it on X?
I do have it on X.
I can go to your X account.
Yeah, that way the audience can kind of hear. I mean, my thing on this is,
which
yeah, I got to find it. It's gonna. I put
Ryan Matta 8.
Ryan Matta Media.
Yeah, the information around this case is changing like every day, man.
But so let me try and understand what you're saying though. So in both videos, it's 3 seconds.
Yeah, it takes the crowd 3 seconds to sit down, and then you go back into the cafeteria and you go look at you're watching the crowd.
You're saying the crowd in the cafeteria ducked before the crowd outside.
No, I'm saying you're seeing him in the cafeteria view. You see the man running across the roof, and you know that he's running. And in that video, you can also see the crowd starting to scrouch down.
It's very popular. You guys have probably seen it. It was.
I haven't.
On the first day it came out, the shooting happened. Everyone.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
the video,
it was like someone's recording inside a building, and you can see a dark figure running across the roof.
Right, I remember that for sure.
We'll show it for the audience.
But I'm just.
How do I airdrop this to you?
You can't.
Fuck.
Well, I'm trying to understand what you're saying between these two videos. I don't understand.
Yeah, just watch the press play.
So it's the time difference between the motion of the crowd and the motion.
I know, but what does that mean?
That means that the man is running on the roof within 3 seconds of the shot being fired.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a sniper, you're laying on the roof, you take this shot, and somehow you magically are up in a full sprint with the rifle in hand within 3 seconds.
Have you ever, but 3 seconds is a long time.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I just want the FBI to release the video. If they would have released it, they released it specifically 3 seconds after Charlie.
In what world is 3 seconds a long time? No, it's not. It's not a long time. It's not. It's not at all.
Shot.
I think this is a screenshot.
Press play.
No, it's
scroll left to right there.
It's an
You
image.
made a FOIA request? Actually, it's
a gentleman made the first FOIA request 2 days ago.
Okay.
So
Camelot something.
one thing that bothers me about this.
When was the last time you smiled without hesitation? I meet people every day who.
Sorry. You guys ever see the MythBusters thing where they test a knife versus a gun? and it's like at 21 yards, you can stab a guy before he can draw on you.
Oh, when I was in the academy, and for the audience that doesn't know, I used to be an agent with Homeland Security Investigations. They would show you that stuff all the time to train you. Like, hey, if someone has a knife, you need to get your gun out as quickly as possible because they can close the distance.
Right.
It's one of the core things they teach you in every law enforcement academy.
That's why I'm saying, like, I agree with your point on the we should get more. Where's the rest of the footage of this? But and I'm not saying this. I'm just kind of adding this in my view. It looks like it makes sense that someone took a shot and then immediately just bolted.
Yep. And then can I add to this?
Yeah,
go ahead. So then Candace goes, 2 days ago, she went and tracked down the very first video of the guys that are kind of walking up, and they go, hey, is there somebody on that roof up there?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that video, they're going, man, the guy.
Bro, the explosion was right in that vicinity. The sound was in the vicinity. It wasn't 200 yards away. It was not. There's no way. I don't think it was. I don't believe the mainstream, the narrative that somebody shot him from, or see, that's not even, it's their story. I mean, once they put out the text messages, I was like, oh, bro, they're so full of shit. They're so full of it. I can't believe they try to get away with this. Who's really gonna believe that? Come on now. Man, no, absolutely not. Get the fuck out of here. And people buy into it. See, and like what's his name, Myron used to be in the government, so I think it's funny as the time goes on. I remember at some point you can see Myron's really legit frustrated with this. You can see it on his face that he's like legit frustrated with this whole situation, that nothing really makes any sense. Every piece of evidence they've given us doesn't match up. Okay, so what does that tell you? That's what, to me, it's, what does that tell you? And it's hard for them to go there, to go to that point, to ask those questions.
I just ran across, is he already in position? So Candace went and got the timestamp of that video. That's at 12:22. So this man runs across the roof. This is what we know. This is just the evidence that we've been presented, right? The man runs across the roof, gets into prone position, takes the shot and fires the shot within 1 minute, and then within 3 seconds is in a full sprint off that roof. And there's 2 cameras that the FBI has, 2 CCTV videos that we know that they have.
Yep.
And that's all I'm asking for. Is you guys want to prove this narrative, then it's so simple. Just release the video that shows him taking that shot and getting up and grabbing his rifle, and then we can put all the
Let me add to that. That's what has me skeptical. The official narrative has me very skeptical on a couple of things, and one of the things that bothers me is, like, remember when they released that footage when they were trying to identify him and he jumps off?
Yeah.
They don't show you where he's there and takes the shot, right? So I'm like, why did you guys not show us that so that we can, like, literally see him taking the shot, getting up, running across, so that we know he's a shooter? They purposely left that out.
Well,
so.
yeah, but is that like sensitivity reasons maybe? Like, we don't want to show the actual murder.
Well,
what? We all saw it on social media. What are you talking about? We all saw it. They pumped it. They pushed that shit. You couldn't escape it. You couldn't escape it. It was a damn shame. They pumped it hard. And so, yeah, I don't think they care too much about that. And it's not even really that. You'll see just him actually shooting the gun. You don't see the damage it does. So really, no, that's not an excuse. And they left that out for a reason, because there is none. I think because that part, no.
Here's the thing. I think if you're going to put it out anyway to try to get the guy identified, you should put out everything.
Well,
and the fact that they didn't show that bothers me.
I mean, I would defer to you. You did law enforcement.
Yeah.
My concern would be, could that compromise a criminal case against him?
No, because
what if there's something in it that is identifying that if you release to the public, you could get false confessions or right? They don't want to. They don't. Maybe he did something unique that they can prove in court that nobody knows, and they don't want these.
Yeah, of course. But when you got a case of this type of magnitude where, you have an enormous burden of bearing some type of public trust and people are asking questions, and obviously Kash Patel is like, look, I'm going to try to be the most transparent FBI. They should release that. And what I will also say is that I think it's important that we understand that he was charged by the state, which means since he was charged by the state, it's actually the Utah law enforcement locals that are running the case. It's actually DPS.
There's been no federal indictment.
It's not FBI that's lead like people think.
I thought the feds are trying to bring charges.
They are, but at this point, the state's running the criminal investigation since it's going through a state court.
Well,
Patsy. That kid is a patsy. The kid did not do it. I'm not buying it for a second. Nope.
Looking to bring charges, wouldn't the state say, look, this is the evidence that we don't want you to make public because we're building a case?
And the feds
from the federal perspective?
Yeah, it's from the feds.
He hasn't
you could,
confessed.
I mean, I don't see, if you already released the footage in an effort to try to identify the guy when he's jumping off, I don't see why not releasing him taking the shot would be, or at least him in a prone position. You can at least show us that. But it is I'm very skeptical of the fact that it didn't show everything from that point since they already showed him jumping off the roof. And then the fact that there's a second camera angle.
I do want to just start because this I appreciate tremendously. Like these videos of palm guns and other weird stuff, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
There's like 5 conspiracies where everyone's arguing like of their 5 magic shooters. Here's
Yeah. That's a big reason why I think they need to release it because now, right? So you have to wait. Okay, if I'm the case agent, right? I'm the case agent and Patel is the director, right? You're in a weird spot because this is a huge case. The people want to know what's going on. We already know that no one trusts the FBI anymore, right? So it's like, is it going to hurt your investigation significantly when you already released a portion of the video from a criminal investigative standpoint? I don't think it does at this point.
Well, hold on.
Might as well release it. We got the affidavits. They put their PC out there.
Unless there's something in the video we don't know that they don't want to release, right? And that's the challenge. There may be something. I would say this.
Sure, they could be. Yeah, you're right.
I'll put it like this. I agree with you, and that I think in most circumstances the probability is they should release it so that we know and it puts all of this stuff to bed. Because, dude, it is frustrating when I'm like watching these videos that are intentional click and rage bait that are distracting. I've made this point about conspiracy theories quite a bit.
Brother, just they're theories, man. They're theories. They don't know. Nobody knows. And you trusting the government don't. They haven't shown shit. They haven't proved what they've been saying. They haven't really proved what they've been saying. And they're not trustworthy. They're not trustworthy. We shouldn't just trust them and take their word for it. Absolutely not. Especially when the grounds are so shaky. And then especially this nonsense that they fed us. Those text messages. I'm not buying it for a second. But it's good to go through every theory, debunk any of them, or if you can, and who knows? We don't know. So people are being harmless, just putting out their theories, bruh. It's like conspiracy. I mean, that shit's gonna happen, especially with an event like this, where everybody saw it. Of course, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have this.
One of the strategies of intelligence agencies to kill a conspiracy theory is to throw false theories out.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's put this to bed. So, but I would. So I agree with you. But then I would also wonder, what if there's like, this is the 5% time where there's something unique to the case we don't know that could compromise their investigation? Like, what if there is a potential link between, let's put it this way, and this is just hyper speculation to make an example.
Sure.
The conversation between the suspected assassin and the transferee boyfriend is, well, I'm just trying to be factual, is no one believes it's real.
Right.
Like, from the far left to the far right to up, down, left, right, everyone's like, are you kidding me? Now,
okay, so with that said, how do you take anything else they say seriously? Especially when it doesn't pass the smell test.
To be fair,
and that's why I think they should release it. Like, I would take losing a little bit of leverage in a criminal investigation to get public trust.
Let me make this point. So Matt Walsh's theory is that they scripted this conversation immediately afterwards to create reasonable doubt in the event the boyfriend's ever charged with something as an accomplice. The boyfriend can they then go to trial and say, look at this message. It proves the boyfriend didn't know, or at bare minimum, presents reasonable doubt. I don't know. All we can say is it's really weird. There have been some people who have said, trust me, there are these online accounts that track the far left, and they're like, these wacko transferry internet anime dudes literally talk like this because they've got some kind of like developmental weird social thing. But
no, they do not talk like that. No, they don't. I'm gonna push back on that. I don't think so. Matter of fact, let's get that. What is it? This is it. Here we go. You're never going to believe what I did. I was the one who... Charlie Kirk. Yes, I did it. Let me tell you all of the details here in writing so that you know everyone in writing. But you need to promise me you will never show this chat to anyone, particularly the FBI, which is much better run now. Oh, no, this is real. Much better now that Cash Patel is in charge? No. Yes, I promise. Please start at the beginning. No, this isn't real. Release new chat. Here it is right here. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude and interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out. I had enough of this hatred. What? See, I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that swept. Wrapped in a towel. Okay, so this is obviously fucking ridiculous. You know, come on. I didn't even get into the story about some note that they said it was burnt or something or destroyed, but they knew what it said. I don't know, some goofy shit, man. I don't know. It's been ridiculous. So really, I see they're gonna use this to usher in his wife, I guess. Yo, that organization that he has, he was the head of a lot of young white Christians. He was going to campus to campus. To me, it's just the whole event, and then how they acted after the event. It smells to me that I'm being deceived. I can smell it. can always tell. It's a feeling. You know? You're waiting for something and somebody getting, tries to pass something off on you. Wait a minute, what? This don't make no sense. What? Is it almost? It's almost an hour. Yeah, so at the end of the day, man, Charlie was part of that club. It's part of that club, and those people do very, very weird things, and I don't put anything past them. I believe for sure it was, at this point, I'm pretty confident that it was a psychological operation. Meaning it wasn't like organic, like they say, somebody shot up because of hatred or because he said this and that. No, something else went on. Something else is going on. Something else is going on. Because the explanation that comes afterwards, it's not believable. Their evidence for it doesn't jive. And so these people, they're using where is it here it is. They're using his death to push for more tyrannical laws.
But Charlie said, that there was no such thing as hate speech. He obviously, no one anticipated what happened to Charlie, but you have always been.
What? He might not be saying that now? What?
You have always been. What happened to Charlie, but you have always been.
Ah, I see. When I say Trump's point is that Charlie Kirk was murdered because of the violent rhetoric pushed by the left, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe in hate speech laws. But I don't believe in hate speech laws. But Trump certainly does care. That's his point. The radical left. The radical left. I said, you're retarded and brainwashed. Yeah, that sounds about right. Partisan. These people who fall for the Democrat, Republican. No, they're both pieces of yeah. And they're one. They're really one. See? They do that in public. They use that as the ability to, trick or get over on the people. Get people riled up. And then I do believe that they do little events, I guess you'd call them. They do things as like rituals. These people are crazy. And we're living in a real fucked up world. The evil people are in charge. They have all the power. Like the real evil people. It's not good, huh? Not good. It's not good. Might have to do something about that before we all die. I can't believe they put this old nigga back into the wilds again. And he done turned on everybody. What a traitor. Bro is a traitor. Yeah, you know. And so, and she was raised Catholic. She entered beauty pageants. I think her, I looked up Charlie Kirk's parents, and his mom, nowhere to be found. There was no pictures or anything. They said, I don't know if this was true or not, but they said Charlie Kirk's dad was an architect for Trump Tower. What? What? Isn't that what? It's insane. Let's see. Oops. There it is, Catherine. See, no picture. This is the dad. Supposedly he was Charlie Kirk. They weren't at remember the memorial? I'm telling you, bro, something's fishy. Mad fishy. And Nick said he thinks Fuentes thinks that it was an arranged marriage, which that's very interesting theory. I could see that, especially the way they kind of acted. I guess, I don't know. Nah, I guess not. Yeah, you know, who knows? But she came from, like, her parents were intelligence, and then she was in Trump's beauty pageant. And see, she'd been in the mix. Then she did some weird shit in Romania. They were talking about. Saving kids. Who knows what the fuck they're doing. Jesus. These people are... I wouldn't be surprised if it was the worst thing ever. Because I'm telling you, these people are so beyond the pale. Yeah, and was it Charlie had like massive donors. So they said one of his donors I guess they were kind of going after Charlie because of a couple things that he said beforehand. He was kind of questioning Netanyahu. Because at a certain point, you can't. It's like your moral compass at some point kicks in to say, no, I can't. It's gotten so bad. And I think he was getting there. That's why I showed that video at the beginning. Because I believe at the time that was what was happening. The whole situation was getting worse and worse. And then You have no ammunition to counteract that. The whole narrative, they have all those talking points for, you know, the reasons why, but they don't work. They don't work. And I thought, and I know he was kind of, you know, starting to gear, move a certain way, but who knows? Who knows, man? But I just don't believe. I don't believe the main narrative. Something else happened there. And some things would actually lead me to believe maybe he didn't pass away. I know people say, oh my God, you can't say that. Well, this is what it is, motherfucker. I'm sorry. Because of the, I think the blood. I didn't show the, should I show the, I do believe it was possible he had something in his shirt. I don't know. I don't know why there was no blood on the tent. They took the SD card and they just walked off. The urgency seemed contrived at a certain in a little bit, like after. I don't know. The whole situation is. You know, the fact that they pumped it afterwards, I believe. I'm pretty sure that shit like went super viral. It was everywhere. Everybody saw it. It was graphic. Just the look of it, you know. And it got everybody in their emotions. Because it created this idea of me and you, the separation, and this is all, again, one of those. But now they're gonna try to use this shit to shut us up. Gotta stand firm, stand tall. Until next time.